Aloha and welcome to A Word with Ward. I'm Representative Gene Ward and I'm the host. And we have from time to time very interesting personalities, erudite or otherwise, on our show to hopefully give you, the viewing audience, a better sense of what's going on at your legislature, and in particular today, what's going on in the technology, the high technology industry. And we have today Mr. Jay Fidell, a business lawyer, a man who writes a column in the Advertiser on high tech, and a man who is probably one of the originators in print of how the guy on the street can understand more about high tech. So Jay, welcome, and I look forward to hearing more initially just about what does Think Tech Hawaii do, and then we're going to get into some heavy things like 221 and other areas that people may be concerned about what's going on in this last session. So what does Think Tech do? How did you come about it? And I mean, you're a business lawyer, and then suddenly you become a high-tech guy. What's going on?
Real quick, it emanated at Starbucks. We had a coffee group that talked about technology. We'd put some programs together in technology for the Building Owners Association, as a matter of fact. And one day, because we knew about HPR, we just called them on the cell phone. When you sit in Starbucks, you have your coffee, and you call people all over the world. So we called HPR, and they said yes, they would do a television, or rather a radio program about technology. So that sort of got us started, and we had a website.
What year was that?
2001.
So about 9 years ago.
Yeah. And you know, effectively, we organized right around that time. We developed, we incorporated as a nonprofit, a 501c3. We developed a website, and we developed a certain level of notoriety in the community. And we had that show for 6 years. And now the way it works out these days is I have my column, Think Tech Hawaii column in the Advertiser, for as long as that may last, not all that much longer, I think. And we have events, we do events, we have our website still, and we have a video studio in the Davies building where we do interviews just like this one.
Just like this one.
And we post them on Olelo just like this one.
well, I can host you and then you can host me.
Yes,
and we can
reciprocal hosting.
But the main purpose of you getting into it was not just as a lawyer, but somebody who really loves technology.
We decided in the year 2000, 2001 that there was such a tremendous interest in diversification that the new time was here. You know, that finally Hawaii is going to write its next chapter, and that chapter would be about technology. I'm not sure that it has gone at the same speed that we wanted to see, but we are in that chapter, and that's the issue on the table.
Was there a vision statement or an end state that Hawaii you felt could develop into or become, and are we along the way, so to speak, with that? Is there a vision? Or
our mission is we're evangelists, and we are here to raise public awareness.
Jewish evangelist, that's
a Jewish
super.
Evangelist, yes.
That's
we
great.
are here to raise public awareness of the importance of technology to the future of Hawaii. That's our mission statement. Whether that is actually happening, not at the speed we wanted to see. There have been obstacles, there have been discouragements along the way, but we're still evangelists.
This fits very well with what otherwise from the 5th floor of the Capitol, where science, technology, engineering, and math, STEM, at the grassroots level, if you will, in the school system, has had a prolific expansion in the last couple of years. So the young kids are picking up and running with the robotics and the competition that we had a national competition. The girls from Iolani won. I mean, it was phenomenal.
However, those are relatively small points. We have to make policy. We have to demonstrate to every man, woman, and child, including those kids, that we're real serious about this, that we're willing to put resources, that we're not going to be distracted or deterred about it, and that it is a state mission on the top of the priority list every single day. We haven't yet done that.
Okay, you're essentially saying we got to put our money where our mouth is.
Lots of money.
We're forced and rushed to go right into Act 221, where there was money and there was incentives, an investment tax credit in effect, which started out in 2000.
Around 2001.
About when
right
you guys
about
started
that time.
It kick-started with a lot of incentives, a lot of investments, and why don't you give us the history and the story of 221 and then some of the implications of where we're going to go from here?
Came out of the Caetano administration. Joe Blanco was the original, what do you want to call it, tech czar, administrator of all of that. When Linda Lingle was, elected in 2000 and what, the end of 2002?
2002, yeah.
She said she would support it. She hasn't supported it in the way we would have hoped over the years, but the thing had a tremendous effect for two reasons. One is it did garner capital. It was under attack many of those years. It might have garnered more capital if it had not been under attack, but it did garner capital. The second thing, and this is the one that really counts, is it became iconic. It was iconic. People thought it was visionary. They thought it was, the expression of what I was talking about, the new chapter in diversification for Hawaii. And it took on a special meaning to so many people. If 221 was here, it was the canary in the coal mine. If 221 is here, then everything is okay. And the problem is that it's not here anymore. And it's not, we did lose capital. We are losing capital. We're losing capital investment right now. I'm here to tell you there's a lot of companies that aren't getting capital and are folding up. A lot of technology type engineers who are leaving town as a direct relationship to what happened to 221. And that's really too bad. But it shows that it was an icon. And it is an icon, and icons work for as long as they last. And sometimes an icon, may not be exactly what you hope. It may not be perfect. It may be flawed. It may have certain corners of abuse. But at the same time, if people follow it, it's a kind of leadership, conceptual leadership. That's what we found with 221. Sadly, it was only for a period of time.
Jay, did we get a core of founding high technology businesses that were able to spawn and spin off and actually get their roots down into the Hawaii, sometimes often difficult business environment? Or was it, well, we kind of spread them rather thinly and there were never the numbers to really be able to replicate it now that 221 is not there? Or is it where they're going to all pick up and say, it was nice knowing you, Hawaii, but it's a hard place to do business and to make money unless there's some incentives. If you were the czar who's going to give the state of high tech in the state of Hawaii, and the microphone was on for the people of Hawaii to hear you, what's the state of high technology in Hawaii? What would you tell the people of Hawaii?
It's been wounded. Okay. What happened in this session and the previous session has wounded it, possibly mortally, because this was the icon. This was the representation, the embodiment of what I was saying about people following this new chapter, writing this new chapter in the history of Hawaii business and economics. So yes, to go back to your earlier question, it did spawn a number of companies, and I can remember all these kids coming back from the mainland. They had some tech experience, they had some school, they had some science. They came back. They wanted to establish tech companies, and 221. More than anything was the message to them. It was, come back, we will embrace you. It's like China embraces all these scientists who are trained in the US, and it brings them back and it gives them special benefits and it treats them well, and so they come back. And that's what happened. The Pauhana group in the early 2000s, they came back and they had such aspirations. But as they saw 221 getting dinged, and attacked year after year, I think they probably lost a lot of that. I know a lot of them left the business, not because of the operation of 221, but the iconic effect or lack of iconic effect of it. So where are we now? I think, as I mentioned before, I think a lot of that has gone away. And, certainly some of those companies that started out under the auspices of 221 with the benefits of 221 are still around. But the vitality gene has been damaged.